Seria Digipedia Plus continuă cu o prezență feminină de data aceasta.
The body is such an intelligent creation. I am always so amazed at how it talks to us. Every part of our physical body is only a reflection of what's going on beyond the body, beyond the physical. This is what we call metaphysical.
În urmă cu 35 de ani, Lise Bourbeau era întruchiparea omului împlinit. Fusese desemnată cel mai de succes director de vânzări din America de Nord. Avea un soț iubitor și 3 copii minunați. Dar ceva o nemulțumea, așa că a început să își pună din ce în ce mai serios întrebarea ce îi împiedică pe oameni să fie fericiți. A pornit în căutarea răspunsului la această întrebare și a inițiat pe cont propriu o cercetare de mare anvergură. Rezultatul muncii ei a apărut în 1982 sub numele Écoute ton corps, Ascultă-ți corpul, un volum care a devenit bestseller încă de la prima ediție. Pentru a pune în practică ideile revoluționare asupra a ce înseamnă boală și vindecare, autoarea de origine canadiană a înființat în același an și un centru de dezvoltare personală. Din acel moment, Lise Bourbeau a lăsat în urmă o carieră de director de vânzări și s-a dedicat celor de terapeut, speaker motivațional și autor de succes. Au urmat 19 bestselleruri traduse în 20 de limbi, conferințe în întreaga lume și peste 40.000 de cazuri clinice rezolvate. Rezultatele i-au confirmat alegerea și au făcut din Écoute ton corps cel mai mare centru de dezvoltare personală din Quebec, care continuă și astăzi, în profunzime, studiul despre fericire. Invitată la o conferință în România, Lise Bourbeau ne-a onorat cu un interviu în exclusivitate.
Welcome, Lise Bourbeau, and thank you very much for being here. I know how busy you are, but still you made your time. Thank you very much.
Well, it's my pleasure.
To quote the name of one of your best-selling books, who are you, Lise Bourbeau?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'm just a woman just like everybody else who always asks questions. Since I'm a little girl, you know, I'm Mrs. Question. I wanted to know everything. I have a soul of a searcher, and I never had answers to my questions when I was young, when I went to school, especially with the nuns in the convent, you know, with the Catholic nuns, and what they were telling me about God and things like that. I didn't like all this fear and everything, so I probably decided right there and then that one day I would have answers. So I started in my 20s to search everywhere, and everything interests me. So I've taken, I don't know how many workshops in the last 40 years. I've been doing more than 40 years for research, and it's little by little everything came to me, and I started to put things together. I understood things different ways, and one day, 32 years ago, I had a dream where I saw myself teaching, where what I had discovered about different things, aches and pains, that there's a hidden message behind that, and how to know yourself with the way you eat, and all kinds of things. I had made synthesis, and it was so exciting when I had that dream. I said, oh my God, this is what I really want to do. But I was working in sales then, and working in sales, I was very, very successful in sales. I was #1 of Canada, United States, really working hard, and 7 days a week while having children, and I've always been very busy anyway. And in sales, you have to be like positive thinking. So for the first 15 years of my research, I was very much into positive thinking, which was the big fashion then, you know, because my first book I bought on that was about 45 years ago. There was only one book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, that was available in English only. I started with that. I was so excited about this power we had subconsciously and everything, but I had not touched the spiritual part of the work. So it's later on in my search that I started to think that it's not enough just to be positive and to make affirmations, and I realized I was being rigid. I was controlling my life, which was good for me because I was a very rigid person, always very perfectionist, and things had to be this way, and actually that was the main reason for my first divorce, because I was too rigid and too controlling with my husband and 3 children. And it's after my divorce that I put everything together, and it was funny, it was through writing down what I was eating, because I had just gained weight. I wanted to know why I gained weight, and I wrote down, and I saw how rigid I was in my way of eating. So then I made the association. I was the same in my other aspects of my life. When I had this dream, it was a big decision, because I had been in sales for 15 years. I was divorced with 3 teenagers, and I'm making a lot of money, and I quit everything, and I decided to start my school 31 years ago. And I cannot say that it was easy, but I'm a very determined person, very enthusiastic, and well organized, and very perseverant also. You know, I don't let go if I have a goal, and I think that's one of my greatest strengths, why I built this school. And because if I have a goal that goes wow inside of me, I know that it's a need of my soul. I need that. I need to reach that goal. So I'm ready to do anything and to sacrifice anything, and I always keep my goal in mind. So no matter what happens, you know, if an obstacle happens, I look after it, but I always keep my goal in mind. This is one of the secrets, I think, of life, for people to know what they want, where they want to go, and just aim there all the time, no matter what it takes or how long it takes, but at least you feel that you're getting closer to something.
What does it mean, listen to your body?
We have a physical body, emotional body, and mental body. So to listen to the needs of the physical, mental, and emotional is one thing, but listening to your body is listening to the signs that your physical body or physical environment is giving you to attract your attention to the fact that you are not listening to the needs of your body. Because as soon as it starts to hurt, physically, if you start feeling anger or emotion or ill at ease, or you don't feel good inside, physically, emotionally, or mentally, right away this is a sign that you are not listening to the needs, the real needs of your body. So this is what we teach, to be really attentive to all the different signs that you are receiving all the time, all day long. We are receiving those signs to attract our attention to the real needs of our body.
Can we really listen to our bodies constantly?
Yes, well, it comes with practice. It's like anything that you've done many, many times, like you drive a car. You don't even have to think now, oh, I have to get my keys out, I have to put my key there, I have to turn the key to start the car. We do that automatically while we're thinking about something else. It's the same. To be listening to the signals of your body is, at first you have to make a little effort to start thinking about that, but to be more aware. But after a while it comes by itself. Like if I have a little accident, I just bang myself, my knee or something, right away it comes automatically. Uh-oh, what was I thinking? You know, right away I know the guilt. I was feeling guilty about something, and I'm punishing myself by banging my knee on the furniture. Yeah.
When did you first listen to your body? When was the first time you say, aha, this is it?
Well, it's when I had put the weight on, and I woke up one morning, because I went on diet like everybody else, but I hated diets. After a few months of that, I didn't like it, and because I would lose weight put it back on. And so one morning I woke up with a wonderful idea, brilliant idea, to write down everything I eat. And this is when I really started to listen to my needs. And I saw that I was not, I would eat the chicken before it goes bad. I would eat because it was time to eat. I would eat because I was going out in case I would be hungry a little later.
Or because you were nervous.
Yes, or emotion. If I was angry at somebody, I would eat more. Or so. If then I started to really be aware. Said, am I really hungry? And what am I? If it said yes, then if I wasn't sure, I knew I was not hungry. If it said yes, and I'd say, okay, what am I hungry for? I would try to feel, you know, something hard, soft, salty, or not. And that's when I started to really listen to my physical needs, just for eating. But then gradually, at the same time, I started to listen to my other needs. If somebody asked me for a favor, before I would say yes because I was afraid to hurt the person, or I would feel guilty if I didn't help that person. And I would say yes when my need was to say no. Then I started to say no. I was more aware of my children's needs. I would respect their needs more. Before, if they were not hungry, I would say, look, I'm not a servant here. I made the meal, so you got to eat now, you know. And they said, we're not hungry. I said, eat now. I can't make 25 meals a day. So, you know, this is and now I say, okay, you're not hungry now. You know, you can eat later. But I'm not making a meal. You just go in the fridge and eat whatever you find, you know. So I started to listen to my other needs and my children's needs. And then I made the connection with that. To listen to your needs is just a show of love to yourself. When you don't listen to your needs, because you don't love yourself. And I realized that had been the big problem with my first husband. Because I didn't love myself enough, I was expecting him to love me, to compensate the way I wanted. Not the way that he knew how to give love, but his way was not, you know, was not what I had imagined was supposed to be.
What does it mean to be healthy?
To be healthy is just to feel good in your body, feel good, because healthy has to go in the three bodies again. That's just because some people, you know, they do a lot of exercises and they have a perfect body and good energy, but inside everything is going wrong. So the minute they stop exercising, the body starts to go, you know, soft or not good. So if you really want to be healthy, you've got to do it in the three bodies. So just, well, to be healthy means listening to your body, to your three bodies, and feeling good, happy about living.
And in contrast, the disease is?
Well, the disease is a signal. It's our God self, our inner God, that when we have not listened to lots of messages we've had before, because we start with mental messages, emotional messages. You know, we're not feeling good, or we have fears, you know, like our mind is busy. But those messages are very subtle. So, like you said before, we are very busy, we're running around, so we're not even aware of these messages. So when after many years of messages, we have not listened yet to that. We are going against love, against the plan of our life. Then finally it attacks the physical body. By the time it gets to the physical, it means it's more urgent now that you look at. There's a way of thinking in your life that hurts you as much as the disease that you just found, you know, that you have. So people who have very serious disease, it means that they've had many messages and many other physical messages too, smaller physical messages, but they just ignore them. And then one day we get one big message. It's like The red light that appears in your car, you start your car, you see the red light, you know that it's warning you about something. But if you ignore it or it bothers you, you take the light out, well, one day you get a much bigger message. It's similar to that, what we do with ourselves. We ignore things because we're too busy with our just having things or doing things, and we forgot about the being.
You are making in your books connections like if we have a stomachache, it means fear of losing someone. Kidneys problems mean that you are not expressing yourself or keeping something for yourself. How do you make the connection between the actual visible things, like the signs, the symptoms, and the emotional?
Actually, I wrote a book on that, the big one, Your Body Says Love Yourself, with about 500 aches and pains and diseases. There's about 1,000 altogether. I took the ones that are most known, and I have a big medical encyclopedia at home, 36 big books. I went through all that, and I picked the disease I wanted to write in my book, and this is what I do best, is to see the metaphysical expression to what is physical. Like if I have a stomach ache and I say, okay, describe, what's the description in the physical? Like, because with your stomach, what's the description? Well, I can't digest anymore. I have problem with my digestion. So you see, I transfer that to physical, emotional and mental. So then I would say to myself, who is the person that you cannot digest right now? So see, it's not the food, it's not the cucumber you're allergic to, you can't digest. There's somebody here around you that you don't digest. If you don't digest the person, why is that? It's because you are criticizing the person, you are not accepting that person the way they are, and because you do the same to yourself. So you see, that attracts your attention to be more loving all the time.
Can any disease be linked, traced to its psychological case or cause or emotional cause? Like any disease we have can be traced back?
Yes. Yes, I believe strongly. 100% of all diseases. Like I have that question many times by doctors. Like one day, it was funny. Was a dentist, was taking a workshop at the workshop, and he said, I can understand, the stomach digestion, if you have sore legs because you're afraid to walk, to go ahead and maybe plan a new future. You're afraid for the, so he says, but teeth, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe that our teeth are
They simply don't brush their teeth, that's it.
Yeah. And so it was so funny, because he had already decided this part does not work like that. And I said, I'm sorry, but every part of our physical body is only a reflection of what's going on beyond the body, beyond the physical. This is what we call metaphysical, beyond the physical. And the body is such an intelligent creation. I am always so amazed at how it talks to us. It's, I mean, I've been doing that for a long time, and I'm always amazed and enthused and very, very in awe of this intelligence, because it attracts your attention with the part of your body that has a connection with the way of thinking. So if you're afraid to go ahead, or you're afraid from when you think about the future, well, you're not going to have a shoulder ache. You're going to have legs, But if you put somebody on your shoulder, you're trying to control somebody else's life. You think it's your obligation to make that person happy. You're going to have a backache. You put the person on your back. So down deep, it's very simple. It's simple and it's very logical. But you just have to believe that your body is that intelligent. And so the minute that it starts to hurt somewhere, say, oh,
Question.
Yeah, and it comes. And many times I start laughing. I say, "Oh my God, thank you very much, my body. You know, you're so right away."
What about diseases that modern medicine still doesn't understand, like cancer? Do they also can they also be traced back? And question: can they be cured from the inside?
Oh yes, everything. Well, it's easy for me to say because I've been teaching all over the world, and I've maybe met about 100,000 people, and I have heard so many stories of miracles, and we have files and files and files at the office of people that write us letters just saying thank you because they've just been to the doctor, they've just had another x-ray, and the lung problem they had, this doesn't exist anymore, it just disappeared, and the doctors don't know what to do because this person had to have an operation. It shows on the x-ray the problem with the lungs, and 3 months later, this woman started to work on herself, and before the operation, we say to the people, ask for another x-ray, just for fun, or another examination. And they say, we must have made a mistake, maybe we didn't x-ray the right lung, or maybe it was the left lung, and they look at the two x-ray and they can't believe it, that it's gone. So what they don't understand, they don't talk about it, because they like to have an answer to everything, a scientific answer. But I'll tell you, I have many doctors as friends. I work with a lot of doctors who send customers to my workshops. They all agree that they cannot cure. They can never tell or promise one of their patients, we will cure you. Here's what we know can help you, but they can take away the symptoms sometimes. If you have a headache, you take a pill, but they cannot promise that the headache will never come back. And so this is why we always tell everybody, you can take all the pills you want. You can go and see your doctor or any kind of medicine of your choice. It's okay, because I don't believe it's intelligent to hurt. If it hurts you, something hurts you, do something about the pain. But at the same time, go beyond that. Go and see what your body is telling you. So you are being helped in every aspect. The doctor looks after you physically, and you look after yourself beyond the physical. How?
You said something very interesting. She worked with herself.
Well, with all the different things that we teach in the workshops, like I have many tools, that I created with just questions. People ask themselves questions, and
are we subconsciously programmed? Do we have like a program that is building subconsciously since we are very small, for instance? And because mentally, or what we know consciously, we can deal with or we can understand, but is subconscious playing a big part in disease?
Yes, because according to the psychological studies, people right now on Earth are conscious between 5 to 10% of what's going on inside. So that means that 90 to 95% of all the fears you have, the beliefs that are wrong for you that you have, the thoughts that you have, you're not even aware of it. So most people think that they run their life, but we don't even run our life. Many times we take a decision to do something or not to do it, or go somewhere or say something, and it's not us really with our power that made the decision. It's a little voice in your head that says, no, don't do that because you might hurt, something might happen. Things that we've heard from our parents, a lot of beliefs that we were born with, coming from other lives, or things that we've heard since we're young, family beliefs, or country beliefs. There are many also. So it's, and we don't even know. So this is why the first goal of everything I do, my books and everything, my teaching, is to help people become conscious. And how do you become conscious? Is by asking yourself questions. And then as you answer, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I didn't realize that. Like, for example, the first question you ask when you have a disease is, what does this physical problem stop me from doing or being in my regular life. So whatever is the answer that, like before I said, digesting the food, let's say I cannot eat some food, or I cannot walk long because my legs are sore. And so whatever the answer is, right away you become conscious of a need of yours. So, because I remember for a long time I thought that if my legs start to hurt, well, my body is telling me it's time to rest. So I would sit down to rest my legs. But my legs, the hurt in my legs stopped me from finishing the work I needed to do. So actually my need was to finish the work I needed to do. So it was completely the opposite to what logically people think. But it's the way of thinking behind that I have to change. It's not what I do physically that's not good for me. It's what's beyond. And this is what people become conscious of with different questions like that.
Are there things that stop us from being ourselves?
Every time it's not going right in our life, and no matter what area it is, whether it's sexual or money or professional, whatever, it's always related to one of the 5 wounds: rejection, abandonment, humiliation, betrayal, and injustice. And each of these wounds is being fed with all these beliefs we have. So if in one lifetime we have, most of us have at least 2 wounds that are more important and that affect our life more. So that means that you have many more beliefs attached to those wounds. So that's why most of the time we stop being ourselves. And that's the name of my book, The 5 Wounds That Stop You From Being Yourself. Because me, I was the wound of injustice. And how many times did I do something because I wanted to be a fair mother or a just mother or spouse or whatever, or with my employees, and actually I was being unfair to a lot of other people, trying to be so fair with one, or I was being unfair to myself. You see, it was my wound directing my gesture or my decision.
What is fear and how do we overcome it?
Oh wow, that's a 2-day workshop. Oh my. Well, fear is, it comes from, the first fear starts when one of your wounds is being touched. You fear because it hurts. So then you start to, oh, I have to be careful because I don't want to hurt again like that. So in the future, I will not do this, do that. So actually fear is the belief that we entertain. It's part of our ego, because our ego, it's our ego is running us instead of ourself, our inner self. And all these different beliefs in the ego are convinced that they are protecting us with the fear. Because once before we started to believe in that, we were so afraid, we thought that we could not cope with this kind of hurt or pain that, let's say you're 2 or 3 years old and you are very rejected by your mom, and she's always pushing you aside, and you're a little girl, and because she's so busy with her favorite son that she pushes aside her daughter, and the daughter, she hurts so much, she thinks she cannot cope with that, so she starts doing all kinds of things to ignore that pain or try to be really nice or whatever she does. And because at that moment, at 3 years old, you don't know how to deal with this pain, and you don't see the whole picture. You don't see that the mother is rejecting her daughter because the daughter is too much like her, and she rejects herself. So she's, oh my God, my daughter is just like me. So she's not doing it because she's a bad mother. She's just doing it because the little girl is
a mirror.
Reminder, is a mirror to her wound. And so this is why we start very young and with this belief, oh no, I must not talk back, I must not make too much noise because you know, I'm going to be rejected. So then, you know, 20, 30, 40 years later, the woman is still believing the same thing. This is where we go wrong, because later on we're not the same person. We can deal with that. We can look at it a different way, but nobody knows that. They just got into the habit of never saying a word, just being very quiet, don't bother anybody, just be a nice person, and then everybody loves you, nobody will reject you. And so fear is actually the creation of our mental body, and it's part of our ego, but is convinced that it's helping you not to suffer. And it's us in our inner power that must convince this part of us, you know, like we all have like little beings in our, made with mental energy, and it's up to us to say, now, okay, you may be right, maybe if I dare talk, say what I have to say, maybe somebody will not like it, will reject me. But don't worry, I'm not a 3-year-old anymore. I can cope with it, and I will not die, I promise you. So just stay aside and let me live my life, because I can't do that anymore. Just always be so nice because I'm afraid to be rejected. So you see, the person talks to the fear and starts getting ready to use her inner power. So,
and it works.
It really works. It really works.
It was one thing that you said about guilt that really caught my attention, because you said something like we shouldn't feel guilty for things we didn't intend, for accidents. Let's go to the extremes. What if there are accidents, like real accidents? I overspeed, I hit 3 people, they die. Not guilty?
Well, guilt has never helped anybody, because guilt is the biggest source of karma. So a person that dies with many guilts, but just has to keep coming back all the time to overcome that, because I believe that nobody, when they're in their heart, nobody really wants to hurt anybody. The person who got really drunk, or the person that started to overspeed for some reason, there was something else behind that. There was a big, maybe a big hurt. The person just, maybe a man just caught his wife, you know, in bed with somebody else, and he leaves the house in such a big state of mind, a terrible state of mind, that he's overspeeds. I'm not trying to excuse the person. I'm trying to see that the intention of that person was not to kill people. And maybe he had intention to kill himself, but that's okay, because everybody can kill themselves, because you don't have to give answers to anybody on earth. I'm here for myself. I'm here for my growth in my life, and to learn more about myself and be more of a loving person. But if I don't want to live as of tomorrow, I mean, it's my life and my consequences. I'm just going to have to come back and continue another lifetime if I don't want to do it now. So people who decide that whatever they decide with their life, it's their decision. And I know that when I say things like that, a lot of people hate that, because people think that I'm cold and I have no heart, no feelings. No, this is what I come with, new way of looking at things, to stop feeling guilty. It creates so many diseases. It creates so many relationship problems, and we can be sorry about things. We don't agree with it. I said, I feel bad about things happening like that. But even if the person who killed somebody in a car, will that help the person that's dead? If the person spends the rest of their life feeling guilty, starting to drink because they feel so guilty, and being in a bad mood, and being sick and more sick, and it doesn't help anybody. So it's not intelligent to feel guilty, because guilt we think that if we feel really guilty, we'll not start over again. And it's the opposite that happens. Everybody who has tried to stop eating chocolate because they feel guilty because it's making them gain weight, let's say, they say, I must not eat chocolate anymore. And what happens? Then they lose control, then they eat the whole box. And it doesn't help, because the more you feel guilty, the more you run in a vicious circle. You start over, and every time it gets a little bigger and bigger, and you feel the guilt gets bigger and bigger, and it really hurts yourself. You hurt yourself a lot with that. So whenever I see anything that does not help anybody, well, why continue with this way of thinking? It's not, because now with this new, you know, era that we have entered, the Aquarian age, it's the era of intelligence. People must act in a way that's intelligent for them and intelligent for the surroundings, which means useful. You know, it's guilt is never useful. It just kills you.
What about, let's take the other side of the victim. Yeah? You were saying at some point, if I understood well, that we attract also the accidents that happen to us, that whenever we have an accident, it's not really an accident. Yes. What if I'm just crossing the street and a car hits me and I'm crossing on green light, so yes. I didn't really want yes. to be hit.
That's right.
What about that? Did I attract that accident?
Yes, yes. Every accident is always there to attract attention to a big guilt we have about ourselves. Yes, I mean, I've been working with that for 35 years, and it's so amazing. Like me, I run around all the time, up and down the stairs running, and so I have fell down many times, and I find myself every time. Uh-oh, what was I thinking about? And right away I say, oh yeah, I was feeling guilty about this or that, and right away I get my answer. So whatever happens, if I have a big bruise or a cut, it heals very, very fast, because I found what was my guilt, and then I decided I don't want to be guilty about that. I said, I didn't mean to, you know, my intention was good, so I reverse it. I start to accept it, accept the way that I was or have been doing things, and I stopped feeling guilty about that.
Is this the way to change a situation we don't like?
Yes, because you see, if you stop feeling guilty, then you will stop attracting all these accidents. So this is why, you know, little by little in your life, bad things happen less and less to you, and they're smaller all the time, and you solve them much faster, and you have the answers. It's I have the chance that I've been teaching and practicing that for so many years, and I have seen so many thousands of people that I have been seeing like for many years in a row, like for example in different workshops, or I watch like my employees. I have employees who work with me for 20 years, and I see the difference from one year to the other, and it's so beautiful to see how life gets better and better all the time.
What does it mean, acceptance?
Acceptance is just go with it, just with no judgment or good or bad. No, just saying, I did that, okay, maybe I hit my kid, I lost patience with my child once, but it was my wound was too raw. It was one wound that was being touched too much, and I reacted very much. Like, I'm not a bad person, I'm just a human being with wounds that I have suffering like other people. Like, let's say if I had a big sore on my foot, and I cover it with, you know, with a bandage or my shoe. Nobody sees the sore because I don't want to bother with it. I don't heal it. I don't look at it. I just have this big sore. And you happen to go by me and you hardly touch my foot, but I said, ow, you hurt me. Like, well, did you hurt me? No, because it's me. You touch one of my wounds that I don't want to heal. I don't want to look after it. So people think other people hurt them all the time. And then if you do that, and if I say, ow, and I go like that, and I put my thumb right through your eye, now I hurt you. In my reaction of the suffering, I made you blind in one eye. Did I intend to do that? No, it was hurting so much that I had this big reaction that hurt the other person. So we're not bad people, we're just humans with wounds.
A difficult one now. What is unconditional love and how do we achieve it?
Oh wow, that's another big one.
This is a lifetime workshop, I think.
Yes, it is. It is. It is practicing all the time. We have, hundreds of situations every day to practice it. And it's, to simplify it, is just accept things the way they are, means to just observe what's going on. Say yes to it. Just don't try to even understand it. So many things we try to understand. Why would she say that? Why would they do that? Or why is this happening? And we want to understand with our mind, with our intellect, but we cannot really understand things mentally. The mental part of us is the energy we need to memorize things, and so that we can know how to write our name, our address, and we can organize, we can plan things, that we do that with our mental. But the real understanding comes from way beyond the mental, comes from your intelligence. When you see all the different parts of the picture and then say, oh God, now I understand. So we have to stop forcing to understand. It means we're forcing mentally. So real acceptance, real unconditional love is just say, I don't agree with what's going on. I don't agree with what I just did or what I just said or what the other did or whatever's happened. I don't agree with it, but there's a reason for that. What can I learn from that? And just go with it. Without panicking, without judging anybody, without judging ourselves or others, and just accept that everybody is different. The difference in people, that's what we have. This is unconditional love. Accepting that you cannot think like me, you cannot want the same thing as me, even if you love me, you're my partner, and this is why I had divorced the first time, because I was expecting him that he kept saying how he loved me, but he would not do the things I asked him to do. So to me, it meant he didn't love me. I didn't know how to make the difference with real love and pleasing somebody. Even if he didn't please me, he did not give me the pleasure of cleaning the garage or cut the grass or picking up his clothes. I hated to see his clothes all over the place. And to me, it was a sign of no love. But actually, this man really loved me. But you see, I didn't know what real love was about. I mixed it up with pleasure.
You said we are living special times. We entered the Aquarius era. Does this help us?
It helps us to grow much faster. And this is why now, in the last 40, 50 years, so many things have been open. Like I was telling you 45 years ago, if I wanted to read about things like that, there was one place in Montreal that sold those books, and it was in English only when it's a French city. And now you can buy these books everywhere. There's thousands and thousands of different types of teaching, and so it's a great opening for consciousness and knowledge, and this is why I think it's a very good privilege to be living in this time of the history of the earth. But it's not an easy time though, because we have to change era, so it's a lot of new things, and our ego always resists to new things, because the ego is made up of not of memory. So the ego always lives in the past, what it has learned in the past. So if you come with new things, there's always resistance many times. What is that? You know, why does she say that? How does she know that it's true or whatever? You know, this. I know I resisted when I started too, and that's normal. It's always the ego that resists to new things. But now we are surrounded by new information. You know, with internet, isn't that wonderful? How much information you can get there. So, I think it's a very exciting period we live in.
One last question, and a very important one for us. How can we become better persons? Like 2 things that you can tell us that can help us now.
Just practice the acceptance, the unconditional love. Just whatever as soon as you start hitting yourself on the head, say, oh, I should not have done that, I should not have said that. Just say, oops, one moment, when I said it, it's because it just came out. I don't know why it came out like that. Okay, maybe it hurt the other person, but that's the way it came out. And it just practice and all the little things, just to accept yourself, and just, it's like you put yourself outside of yourself. You watch yourself that you just did that, because if you did something that you don't agree with, maybe you said something bad to somebody, or it's just a part of you that was hurting at that moment. So you just watch all these little parts of you that are hurting, and one day these wounds will start to heal, and they heal all the time with all these little actions of love. The wounds are healing by themselves.
Thank you very much for this interview, for your time, and for everything you said to us. And I hope to see you again in Romania. We very much need so.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me and for your good questions.
Thank you. Doamnelor și domnilor, vă mulțumesc că ați fost alături de noi. Vă doresc o zi minunată, o viață minunată cu bine.